Hello dear friends, I am Nagda Mansour and I am recording to you this video for the purpose of participating in the event organized by Vienna Institute for International Dialogue and Cooperation. Thank you for making this possible, and the Institute had asked me to speak about my personal experience as participant in the revolution, and I can say as a leader. Because the burden of the sacrifices of the martyrs made them the leaders of the revolution. And they are the source of the inspiration that we all had, and they gave us the power to continue. And we always chant, we either bring justice to you or die like you. And what they left for us is a will in which they verbally said, take care of Sudan. أبقوا عشرة على السودان. I talked to the mothers of the martyrs and they told me this, many of them. And I was in the front line with some of them who were trying to protect me. They protected us, particularly they say that the Kandakas has to be in the safe houses, and they took us to safe houses and so they sacrificed themselves for us, and they died in big numbers. And particularly in Eid Ramadan, I was very close to Dudu, who passed away the same day, and that was really very painful. We are all traumatized still in Sudan, and if whenever they asked me to speak about my experience after my detention, I couldn't because I just feel like I did nothing. I sacrificed nothing if I compared myself to what they were ready for. Most of the revolutionaries in Sudan, they were ready to die, and I saw that by my other eyes. However, for the purpose of my participation here, I will try to share with you some of my experiences. Resistance for this regime started very early as it started, as early as in 2003, the resistance, the armed resistance started in Darfur and some other areas, and it continued and it added to the credit of the revolution. In 2018, I was in the organizational committee which organized for the mass rallies. We tried to make people demonstrate peacefully. We had organized ourselves in committees, all the political forces. Since that time, we started action, peaceful resistance, even before that, as I've mentioned. And then in 2019, of course, it reached to the climax. Then, in 25th of December 2018, I was arrested by the regime in the first demonstration, which was demanding the step down of the previous government president. The demonstration was heading to the presidential palace, and that was in the memorandum we wanted to hand. I was arrested for that in that day up to I stayed in the detention for 75 days. They were horrible 75 days because at that time everybody was taking part in the revolution except of us. We were put together around 20, but in different cells, women leaders. We had shared experiences, and I always say that the detention was like a chance for more action, concerted action among women. Really, we did something there, and that was good, and we tried to contribute that later to the revolution. We are unstoppable, and when they detained us and during the investigations, they came to discover that we are stronger than them. We were demonstrating power and resistance, and we were asked to tell about what's going on. We didn't tell anything about what's going on, and that was, we shook them. We felt it. Even when the investigator tried to talk to you, you just look more powerful than the investigator. And we share our investigation experiences. We analyze it when we come back to the cell. About the revolution back, we had many ways of peaceful resistance, but mainly I had voice regarding. I was one of the voices which claimed civil disobedience, because the regime is very, very, very cruel. Earlier, I asked for people to use the peaceful technique of civil disobedience. It was many of the Sudanese people had the same voice, and we had tried to organize this, even to use this as an additional technique after we started the sit-in work. That was part of the ways we had been resisting. Actually, we had claimed, as I've said, complete step down of the regime. We didn't want to just reform. We wanted a step down, تسقط بس, which is just fall down. And we had concerted action as political forces. We all worked together. Namely Alliance of Sudanese Professionals, the resistance committees, the political forces, which was a coalition of parties and civil society confederations comprising Forces of Freedom and Change. We all worked together and we made this possible. The people, the way we used to mobilize the people, actually at the start, we used to use posters. We talk through the social media, and actually what we did is nothing more than what the people were ready to do. What we did was actually an organizational role than a mobilizational role. The people created this revolution. It was the revolution of the Sudanese people by the Sudanese people. We didn't do anything more than they have done and they have been doing. So it's just that I wanted to tell you that what we want to do is not yet done. We are undergoing still a process. We need to bring justice. We want to bring the people who committed crimes to justice. We want to create transitional justice procedures applicable, and then after that we will feel that we had done what we ought to do, but never before. Thank you very much.